Alright, this is Chapter 10, Section 1, Part 2. Okay, now we have an angle and two sides, so we draw a triangle. It's not a right triangle. Okay, label the two sides we don't have and leave the missing angle blank. So the question is, what case is this? Well, if I trace it, it's an angle, side, angle. Or angle, side, angle. It's the same either way. You can't go this way. You can't go angle, angle, because I skipped an angle to get to another angle. You can't do that. Okay, whenever you start out, you can't skip the same. You can't skip a side to go to a side, or skip an angle to go to an angle. So in fact, this one is an angle side angle. Okay. So last time we did an angle angle side. Whenever you have more, when you ever have the two angle cases, those are always law of sines. Okay. And then in section 10.2, when we have more sides, you don't have at least two angles. It's going to be law of cosines. Okay, so let's set up our law of sines here. So it's a ratio equals a ratio. So I don't have any ratios here though. Because I have angle C but no side C, angle A but no angle or side A, side B but no angle B. So I can actually figure out angle B first, right? So it's 180 degrees minus 50 plus 33.5, right? Because all three of these angles together must be 180, right? So let's put the degree symbol in there. Copy, paste, paste. So let's see, that's going to be 50 plus 33.5 is 88.5. So if I subtract that, it'd be what, 96.5, right? So that'll be angle B. Yes, angle B. Okay, so we have angle B. Format, color, blue. Okay, so I can do the sine of angle B and compare that to 76, and these are in centimeters, right? So that is the only ratio I in fact know. So I can use that to solve the other ones now. So I need both A and C. Okay, so sine of 50 degrees is A. And let's make this blue. Format, color, blue. Let's copy this. And we'll do the same thing for 33.5 degrees for B. Okay? So let's do them at the same time. So if I cross multiply, I'm going to get A times sine of 96.5 equals 76 times the sine of 70. Oh, sine of 50, sorry. And on over here, we're going to get B times sine of 96.5 equals 76 times the sine of 33.5. Okay, so that means A equals a ratio of this divided by this sine, and B equals the ratio of this divided by sine of 96.5. Okay, so very similar. So in either case, we're not going to work out to nice whole numbers, but we can get those. So A is approximately, and B is approximately. Okay, so we can go to our calculator now. Alright. So we can do a ratio. Oops, that is not ratio. Try again. Ratio 76. Otherwise, you just do division and make sure you use plenty of parentheses. So it divides the whole thing correctly. The big thing is make sure it's in degree mode, not radians, because these are 50 degrees, not 50 radians. So approximate. Then I'm going to copy this again and change that to 33.5. Alright, so we have 58.596, and we'll say for 42.218. All right, 58.596 dot dot dot. I think these are in centimeters, right? And B, 42.218 dot 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 centimeters. Okay, so we'll make those blue, format color blue, or orange rather, for the answers. So now I have 3 angles and 3 sides. And what you'll notice is the biggest angle is across from the biggest side. The smallest angle is across from the... did I do the wrong letter? Oh, that should have been C. I don't know why I did B again. That should have been C the whole time, right? C, 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 and C, right? So now I have it correct. It's always good to double check when you're all done. So this is the security check, basically. Smallest angle, smallest side. Largest side, largest angle, medium angle, and this medium side. So it's the side in between, basically. Okay. Make sure the label angles in degrees, and the side measures with whatever the length happens to be. Okay. So that's an angle side angle case. Let's try another one. So the ambiguous case, because we know AAA and ass backwards don't work, or never work, or sometimes work. AAA never works, and the ass case, the ambiguous case, sometimes works. Because the ambiguous case, because of the hinge, essentially, with only having one angle, may lead to have no triangles. It might give you 2 possible triangles, or only 1 possible triangle. That's what could happen, basically. Okay? Alright, so let's try this one here. So if we look at what do we have here, let's just do a math type first. I have a comparison. I have angle A to side A and a B. That's it. Okay, let's just put those in and see what happens here. Okay, so I have the sine of 75. And that goes at 51 feet. And then we can copy this over here. So we know B goes with 71 feet. But we don't know angle B. So we're going to put angle B. Okay? We don't know anything about C whatsoever. All we know is A's and B's. This is my ratio A. This is my ratio for B. Okay. Format, color, blue. Okay. So we'll cross multiply. So we're going to get 51 times this on the left to right multiply equals 71 times the sine of 75. Okay. And then we want to get the angle B by itself. That's obviously what we're solving for. So we're going to divide both sides by 51. So we're going to be left with the sine of angle B equals this. Here's the problem. I got to give it a sign. You don't divide by sign. That's like dividing by the addition sign or dividing by the multiplication sign. Sign is the operation. The question is, how do you get rid of it? Well, very simply, you're going to do inverse sign. Sometimes you'll see what's called arc sign, which is the way you say it. I'm not going to go into that, but arc sign and inverse sign mean the same thing basically. That just means inverse. Okay, so equals sine inverse, and then parentheses, comma, boom. Okay, so that means angle B is equal to this whole thing right here. Okay? Alright, so what is that going to give me? Let's go to my calculator here. So I'm going to move that over. And go to my calculator. Alright, so inverse sine first. Parentheses are very important here. Ratio 71 times the sine of 75 divided by 51. Again, these are angles in degrees, so make sure it's in degree mode. And we're going to hit the Enter key. Oh boy, we got a problem here. Domain error. Alright, let's see what it is. Let's try it again. Copy, paste. So it's undefined domain error. You get various different things depending on what calculator you have. But essentially, it is undefined. Right? So because the answer is there is no possible triangle. That is the actual answer. Okay, let's see about why that is essentially. So if I take this value right here, copy and paste. So I'm going to take that in my calculator and copy and paste. What is it approximately? That's about 1.3447. Whoops. 3447 ... right? So why didn't it work? Well, the value can only be between -1 and 1. Because if you actually graph a sine, what you'll notice is it makes sine wave and cosine waves, which look like this, basically. You know what I'm saying? There's waves that go on forever, and they go up to 1 on the top and -1 on the bottom. Okay, so if this is not between 1 and -1, it's not actually possible for the sine. So that is why it failed. So there's no possible triangle. So essentially, if you try to actually draw it, okay, right, because we were given A, and a B, and that was all we were given. Essentially, the last piece will connect. So if you drew it and it was connected, that's fine. Right, so if you drew it connected, that's fine. But the reality is it's not connected. There's no possible triangle because one of the sides is not long enough. It fails the hint, essentially. Right? So that's the actual answer there. Because again, in the ask case, you're either going to get no triangle, 2 triangles, or 1 possible triangle because you only have 1 angle as a hinge going on, basically, that swings. So this one is, in fact, the ask case because I have an angle, a side, and a side, right? I can't go, so I can go this way, side, side, angle, or I can go angle, side, side, essentially, right? I can't go the other way and start with some other side like this. I can't go side, angle, side, because I skipped a side to go to another side. I can't do that. Okay? Again, can't skip a side to go to a side. So this is, in fact, the ask case. Okay? All right, that's the end of part 2.